The Zone Coverage Podcast Network.
The Andy Lucanary Football Machine.
Autobots, transform! I like this kind of party!
Straight cash, homie.
Starts now.
Welcome back to Thunderdome for another Zone Coverage Football Machine on the Zone Coverage Podcast Network. I'm your not-so-humble Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine, and I have equity. More equity than Danielle Hunter getting paid $1 per muscle. That's Twitch.
That's probably right.
Isn't it insane?
Good line.
It is.
That he either has a direct deposit, which Wells Fargo must have been like, whoa, or he just got a $15 million check today. No big deal. Signing bonus. What is up? Joining me, actually, not as always, but as always, got the full crew. Back at full strength. Hockey term. I should be doing the hockey podcast. Arif Hassan, NFL. Luke Inman, Luke_Spinman, and also Yinka, Sexy Prince. The band's back together. How's everyone?
I am. I went to a wedding in Ohio.
Yeah.
But you are, like, as in you're present?
I went to one. I have come back from it.
That's good.
Sandusky, Ohio? Makes sense.
Yikes.
Wendy's.
Wow.
There is
Wendy's people. Wow.
There's nothing yikes about Sandusky, Ohio, unless you make it yikes.
Yeah.
Tom.
I was talking about Wendy's. I was talking about Dave Thomas, the pillar of our adopted community.
Yeah.
Columbus, which is a better city than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just so weird.
Still trash.
It's a cool place.
Yeah, no, it's cool. So I went to an analytics conference in Stevens Point, drove down to Columbus for a wedding, and then drove up 11 hours. I hate my life.
Wow, 11 hours,
crap.
huh? Takes 11 to get a while. Wow.
Yeah, if you're driving.
Oh, wait.
Damn.
I've done that. The drive in to Columbus is cool, though. The skyline and stuff.
Yeah. No, I agree. It actually kind of reminds me a lot of St. Paul.
Yes, I think.
Yinka back after a 2-week suspension for gambling. How was the baseball?
It was fantastic. I took an acting class. New technique I've never tried before, and it's phenomenal. A lot of work, but no, it's great to be back. I missed you guys.
Was it method acting?
It's not method.
Did you get into it Daniel Day-Lewis style?
It is not.
He still thinks he's Lincoln.
It was not method acting. It's called the Meisner technique. It really focuses on getting the actor out of his head, out of his or her head, and really just focusing on like your partner and what they're doing and being really observational.
Did you ever see the Jim Carrey doc on the Man on the Moon?
Yeah, I've not.
It's whack, dude. Man.
Crazy. He just went so far down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I feel like you need to see that.
Like, it ended up being, you ended up finding out that was the real movie going on instead of Man on the Moon. Like, Man on the Moon was okay. But Jim Carrey had so much hype back then. Like, it was somewhat disappointing, I think, for a lot of people. And you find out later, once you watch this, that was the real show that was going on behind the scenes. He couldn't come out of character.
Who's had a career arc like Jim Carrey's, where he was nobody, and then in Living Color, then one of the most bankable stars in Hollywood, and then just disappears?
I mean, but like part
Elvis.
of that was like a choice on his part, right? So you know, that's like better than I don't know, Nick Nolte,
Gary Busey,
same guy.
God, never seen them in the same place. But also working the board is Tom Schreier at T-Shirt 3. What's going on?
Summer League. I'm headed to Summer League.
Yeah.
I have to spend a week in Vegas, which is going to be scary.
A week?
Well, actually, Dane's staying longer. Dane's staying the whole thing. I could not do more than a week.
You're saying 7 days?
7 days.
What do you mean you couldn't do more than a week?
I think
Vegas starts to get boring.
I think it starts to
you just get broke.
It's good. It's good that you're doing hashtag work while you're in Vegas, because then you have something to distract you. Although I've been told by the Clark County Sheriff's Department that if you go 18 hours without having one of those tall, oversized drinks where you pay the extra $4 for the double shot of Everclear, they should just shove one up your ass.
Yeah, I
just
heard
take it
that's correct.
rectally.
Actually, you just sit down and you're like, oh,
which is a quicker buzz.
There it is.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Where are you staying?
The Link.
Oh, is that the place that used to be like the Barbary Coast?
It might be right. It's Treasure Island.
It used to be Bill's Gambling Hall.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. My friend works there, so I got the discount. Sweet.
They came out fancy. They have a strip club there?
in the hotel.
Yeah.
In my room.
No.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm gonna stick to the couch.
When you're at the, I think it's at the Link, but there's a place called the Tag Beer Bar, and they have like 250 beers from around the world.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Just sit there. Also, I saw Gilbert Arenas at that bar.
Wait, what?
At like 4 in the morning.
Did he have a piece? Did he have a piece?
There's nothing peaceful about that, man. No, I know. No, Jarvis Critterton had the piece, but he's in jail now. But no, like we're just sat at the bar at 4 in the morning watching TV or whatever it was, and then up strolls up Gilbert Arenas.
That's amazing.
Agent Zero. Today, talking about some random Viking stuff. Danielle Hunter got paid. Also, we're going to play a little good, bad, or meh, and then I don't know, talk about World Cup and whatnot. Yeah. Subscribe to us on the iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and also follow Zone Coverage on Twitter, Zone Coverage MN. Also become a subscriber, be someone, get a free shirt, become Tom's best friend.
Yep.
It's all there for under $30 a year.
We're closing in on the Reef shirt, and actually, Reef just approved a vital component of this shirt.
I was not aware it was being held up on my approval.
Reef.
It was like, Tom was like,
I wanted to make sure it was okay.
No, I'm not.
Good.
For once, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just
that's good.
telling you about the process here.
Yes. The
Tom
people
was
need to
like,
know.
"Oh, this doesn't look like a shirt you would approve," and I, like I normally do, didn't respond to the email or the text message.
Yep.
And so I just figured the shirt was going to be in production. So Tom asked me just now, like, "Hey, so what do you think of the shirt?" And I was like, "It's a shirt."
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's
now
gonna
it's
be
in
cool.
production.
It's gonna look good.
Wait, you never respond to text messages or emails?
Yeah, Yinka.
I didn't experience that at all.
Yeah, Yinka texted me too this weekend, and I was like,
You feel
"That's
my
cool."
pain, Yinka. Feel my pain.
He texted me back at 11:30 on Monday.
That's another Reef thing. That's another Reef thing.
It's like, oh, whoops.
Yeah.
Circle back on the wedding thing. At any point, did someone do the OHIO thing?
No, although the
Thank
wedding
God.
was held in the Ohio State boathouse where their
Yeah.
competitive rowing team is.
Yeah.
Also, their competitive rowing team.
Did anyone get
apparently
paddled?
is extremely good. No one got paddled.
Boo.
It's the Woody Hayes Woodshed.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. That
I
should be
like
a
how
thing.
Tom was waiting for a response from a Reef, and then he finally gets it's a shirt. And Tom goes, green light it. That's it. We're good. Run it, boys. We're good.
I don't want to
It's a
diminish.
shirt.
I don't want to
Well,
diminish
it is a
anyone else's enthusiasm for buying the shirt. It's actually
gonna
a really
look great.
dope concept. I just don't have an eye for art, and Tom was asking me an artistic question. I have no idea how to respond to those. So I'm super excited about the shirt.
So we'll release it in conjunction actually with your guide.
Oh, that
so
makes
it's something that
sense.
you can get for $20 with a guide.
That's something that the doctor said about Tom as a kid. He's very artistic.
Oh, stop. That's so bad.
Quick pivot. So World Cup. Who is the Maradona of the NFL? Like, who is just this old, fat guy even when he was playing and now is just like a rock star?
I can think of the NBA. It's Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
Ooh, that's perfect. Let's just stop there.
I'm just
Talk
trying
to the mics,
the
boys.
NFL. I don't know.
In terms of like fat guy in his prime, Big Ben.
Yeah, I guess.
see that. I see that.
It could
But he didn't
end
like-
up being Jameis, though.
Yeah.
Well, he's got to be in the league in a couple of years.
Yeah, that's true.
Jameis is on his last leg, isn't he? This can't be
No,
good.
I don't think so. No, I don't think
Because he's
there.
Well, maybe with the Bucks,
He's-
but he'll take up somewhere else.
Well, so,
Probably as a
like-
starter.
As a... Well, I mean, he's just suspended. Am I missing news? He's just suspended for 3 games,
Yeah.
right? They've
Yeah.
confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just seems to be a
But
pattern.
I think it's something they call pattern of behavior.
Yes, it's a pattern of behavior.
Yeah.
I think the Bucks, when they drafted him, already signaled that they were okay with it.
Yeah. That makes
Because hashtag Florida.
He is not a great quarterback currently, but I think he is overperforming some of his statistics. He's got fantastic first down production, for example. And so I think they'll hold on to him, and he'll be in the league for a while. Maradona, obviously, in contention to be one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Jameis, not so much. I can't think of an
how
NFL
about
player.
this? Jamarcus Russell.
I can't think of an NFL player that is both fat.
Jerome Bettis.
What that? But I mean,
He's fat.
that was an asset, right? Like Maradona's weight was not an asset.
I love that he just drank and I
Otherwise-
feel like they should let him chain
Otherwise, be
smoke.
like, oh, Anthony Munoz, he's
Yeah.
a big guy,
Yeah.
right? That doesn't really.
That's what
fit.
makes him good.
Maybe instead of fat, we could just go with extremely out of shape, late career Peyton Manning, or you could go with the drug use and go Brett Favre. Rumors.
Will Fork.
Again, his weight is an asset.
But it wasn't, right? He got too fat.
When?
Maybe I'm
Like,
thinking
with the
Hainsworth.
Texans?
Hainsworth.
Oh,
maybe,
yeah,
Hainsworth. Sorry, I mixed them up.
But Brett Favre, potentially in contention for one of the greatest quarterbacks.
What they
of all
expect sending Will Fork in the twilight of his career straight to barbecue country?
It's tough. It's tough.
Like, who's been at like a fat safety? I can't think of any.
Yeah, I'm lost. I don't have an answer. Polamalu gained some weight at the end.
Yeah. Or like Mike Williams, if the wide receiver, if he had been good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. So South Korea, awesome. Screw you.
I didn't watch that Mexico game. Was Mexico because they were in no matter what? Was Mexico trying?
I don't know. I don't watch it.
Doesn't matter. Go South Korea.
I just relish in the result. Yinka, what happened with Nigeria, man?
So happy.
A lot
How you
of
doing, man?
No, it was
Need to
hard.
borrow some money?
It was right.
Everybody throwing a
They
couple
were a
bucks.
fun team.
It was really exciting. I remember when I saw the first goal go off. I'm just like, God damn it, Messi. But then obviously they tied it up with a free kick, and I was like, okay, they just need to hold on. And in the 84th minute, it just it's very Nigerian.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but also I can't believe Argentina qualified.
Right,
Like,
right.
what?
Nigeria would have been fun to watch. I mean, there's a chance they probably could have been bounced off in the first round or whatever. But
I mean,
think
good
they
chance
would,
of it, but
I think they would have been fun to watch.
It's in their hands, man.
Right, right.
Is it tough for countries that have players from rival like EPL teams?
Not all.
I think
There was one year.
Especially, I think, underrepresented countries like Nigeria or whatever. I think
United States.
United States. Actually, yes. I think the fact that you're playing for a team that doesn't regularly place in like the top 7 in the world, I think can unite you over.
What is more of an underdog story, like an American in the English Premier League or like a foreigner in the NFL?
Foreigner in the NFL.
Probably a foreigner in the NFL.
Yeah, because I remember
have had their shot.
Because I remember there was a Mexican kick returner for the Broncos like 12 years ago. Like he was the big story of the preseason, and then he just kind of washed out.
Yeah,
Moritz,
like Jared
Lobo.
Haynes, Moritz Beringer.
What
like
about, wasn't that place kicker at the Chargers? Was it?
Oh yeah, Young Wei.
No,
Yeah.
after we saw him kick
Young
the first
Wei
2
too.
games, they're like, no, he's North Korean.
yeah, right, yeah.
We're good, dude.
Yeah, we're good. Someone who's also good, Danielle Hunter, getting that extension, 5 years, $72 million, $40 million guaranteed,
15 signing bonus,
15 signing bonus, and also up to 78 in incentives per Ben Gessling of the Strib. Glad he got paid, but also glad seeing that 14.4 per year. Kind of nice.
So I've actually been talking about this with some of the guys, and I think yes, he could have gotten probably up to $18 million is what he was projected to be
The
at.
very high end, I think.
Very high
I
end,
think
so-
the over the cat guy was being
But like,
aggressive. But yeah,
I sometimes think people also forget on the player side. It's like Danielle Hunter hasn't made very much money. It's
security.
like it's like if you give me that $15 million right now, like he's set.
And he's a 3rd round pick. He
Yeah.
probably didn't have a big bonus.
He's
right?
set for a while.
I think the timing of it's huge too. I mean, we've seen Harry, we've seen Rudy, we've seen a lot of the Spielman and Brzezinski era signing these guys, or at least doing everything they can to sign them before camp even starts, or in the middle of camp, before the season. Because, like you said, same thing. Both sides win when you can get the deal done early. And I think, from the Viking staff, they realize we can save a little bit of money if we get it done now. We know we're going to do it anyways. If we can get it done now, we can save a little bit of money because they know how important saving a couple mil from each player is. That lets you kind of go get a Sheldon Richardson, for example, or guys like that.
And then if he gets injured, obviously this year, I mean, yeah, he can always go out and get insurance or whatever the case is, but
right,
he can get that amount of money right now,
right,
and then in a couple of years' time, if he wants to, re-up, he always can.
Yeah.
So.
I think I think that's still not a typical story in the NFL. I think
it's not.
Most players still are willing to bet on themselves because in order to have the type of confidence it takes to put yourself into the NFL, it's the same kind of confidence that allows you to play at the final year of your contract. Unless you're getting some really fantastic offers from the team that you're currently on, and I would not qualify this as a fantastic player-sided offer, except for the fact that, of course, there's a high amount of guaranteed, and a high amount probably a functionally guaranteed, right? Because there's $40 million guaranteed. I would imagine it's closer to actually, $45, $50 million guaranteed, because the final year, the third year of the contract, might be partially guaranteed, but it might just cost too much to cut him. Yeah. So I would say that it's still remarkable and impressive that the Vikings did this. I think it's definitely more of a team-friendly than a player-friendly contract. The incentives, you said up to 76, but it's only $4 more million in incentives.
78. So
78.
$6 million, yep.
That's still not a ton more in incentives. Like if he makes like consecutive All Pros, he gets like a couple million more. Yeah. That's surprising.
But also, just devil's advocate, like if he did hit the open market, it probably would have surpassed Olivier Vernon's contract just because of nature of inflation. But if you look at both their deals, they had the same amount of guaranteed money. They both got $40 million. Like, sure, Olivier's got more of the funding money and some of the back end toilet paper money. But I mean, for Guy, his first 3 seasons, he's made a total of $2.4 million. So you're just going to plop $15 million in his lap. So that 2.4, cut that in half of taxes, and then of course you got bills and you got family and you got your friends and stuff. Like 15 sounds pretty good.
That's what I was saying. Is like you looking at it from a player standpoint, made pennies comparatively up until now. It's like just give me the $15 million right now,
right?
And I'm really.
He also will get that contract pretty young. The third one.
Oh my gosh! Well, that's part of the thing.
It expires when he's 28.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
So he'll probably be in his prime by the time he has to re-up again.
Yeah, he'll be hitting his third contract around the same time a lot of players. About a year or two after a lot of players hit their second contract.
Like Cameron Rake was still getting stupid money when he was 90. Well, 40. Well, 30.
One of the rare people who could end up getting 4 contracts and playing the majority of them out. I mean, some people, the last few years, they get a new contract every year, but you know what I mean? 4 big contracts.
So it's really easy to... so I've been doing some numbers work with this. It's really easy to compare it to Everson Griffin's contract because his is with... restructuring in 2017, his is $14.5 million, and so you could say, hey, they kind of expect him to play like Everson Griffin because the percentage of the cap is pretty similar. But really, if you compare it to the rest of the league, the type of production that contract value implies is really close to. It's really close to someone like Ryan Kerrigan, Jerry Hughes with the Bills.
Jerry,
different Jerry.
Do we know that?
Do we know that for sure?
It's not a ton. The kind of production that they're essentially paying for is really close to like you mentioned Olivier Vernon. Whitney Merciless, that's kind of the money amount that they're paying for if you kind of adjust, say, PFF grade or total pressures to percentage of contract at the signing. And so it'll be really easy for him to overperform the contract. Everson Griffin's massively overperformed his contract. You can get someone like Justin Houston overperforming his, Brandon Graham overperforming his, and we kind of expect Everson to perform, or Danielle to perform, kind of in that range, like Everson, like Brandon, maybe even better. And so the Vikings have put themselves in a position where they can really get a bunch of excess value out of this contract super easily for the first 3 years.
But you wouldn't say it's a bad. I mean, looking at Danielle's side, you wouldn't say it's a bad contract, would you?
I would say it's actually not a great contract for Danielle from his side.
To be fair, it doesn't apply the pressure he would have if he had a bigger one, right? I mean, there's something to realistic expectations.
No, yeah. It makes it very easy for him to meet his needs. But I mean, I think every player wants the kind of pressure to perform better.
Well, he only had 7 sacks last year, Reef, and playing in the People's Stadium. Fire Spielman.
The People's Stadium.
I just love that he, like both Everson and Danielle, just like make a smidge more than Clay Matthews and Nick Perry. Just like
blasted.
Yeah. Speaking of players that didn't live up to the contract, so Robert Quinn's, do you see his?
Ooh. Oh, it's brutal.
What was it?
Well, it's looks like 5 years, 57, so 14.2 a season.
So I did this for every player who's an edge rusher that's signed to a significant deal. And so I created an expected PFF grade for every player based on their contract. Robert Quinn is the biggest underperformer since signing the contract.
Wow.
And right above him, Clay Matthews.
Although it's okay because they switched him to linebacker, so now they have a $14 million outside linebacker.
Yeah, right. Great.
It just makes sense. Who doesn't rush the passer very well anymore? It happens. Speaking of positions, so loyal listener to the show, Gottfried, who's from Germany, I think. He's the only one who's up at the same time I am. He noticed a couple of position list changes on the Vikings official roster, pulled out two notable ones. Tom Compton, who spent all of the offseason work at left guard, mixing in with the ones. They changed him to OT. Intrigue. And also, CJ Ham. Fullback.
Yeah.
To the RB. So is this anything or nothing?
Probably nothing. I mean,
Probably
I
not
expect-
much. The Compton one, they probably got some of these mini OTAs, rookie camps.
Yeah.
Look at how many guards they got going on. They got a lot with Colby Gossett and
Isadora.
And Will Hernandez.
Easton got signed. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. Compton, obviously, I think fills more of the depth. Compton can swing either way, but I think just they want to maybe pencil him in going into training camp and let maybe all those guards kind of work some things out and get one less body out of there. Ham, I
think it's
see anything about Ham.
Oh, it's coming.
Running back.
The flex back.
flex
you're right.
between fullback and running back. Yeah.
No, hear me out. Like, this might just be my harebrained thing, but CJ Ham came in as a running back, was fine as a running back, added some weight, became a fullback, blah, blah, blah. Him at RB3, which is fine. Yeah, special teams contributions. And then just keep 4 tight ends. Keep Blake Bell, keep Gronklin, keep David Morgan, have him play de facto fullback, or hell, just play CJ Ham as fullback still.
Yeah, there's actually a pretty strong relationship between whether or not you have a fullback on your roster and whether or not you have 4 tight ends. Like a lot of teams view it basically that way, where you either have 4 tight ends and no fullback, or 3 tight ends and 1 fullback, or if you're the Seahawks, 4 tight ends and 2 fullbacks. I could see that. I mean, the Vikings definitely don't have a third running back, in permanent marker.
But Mike Boone has looked so good in shorts.
Yeah, I guess he has.
He would have been drafted if he looked better in pads.
Yeah, right, exactly. I'm kind of excited about Mike Boone, but I mean the Vikings are obviously not gambling on an undrafted free agent running back. Yeah. Potentially solving their third running back woes. A lot of us are thinking about the third running back as a way to replace Jerick McKinnon, right? Because you've got Latavius Murray, you've got your goal line back. But honestly, if you could just find, and this is kind of how the Vikings have defined it, if you can just find that third running back, whoever the best running back is out of all the skill sets that you want, that's probably better than getting a guy who's exclusively like a pass catcher. So I could see that. I still think they are willing to run out of heavy. I know they turned an undrafted free agent running back from running back to fullback, probably to replace Cameron Petway, who they cut in rookie tryouts. So they still have a fullback somewhere, and I imagine CJ Ham is going to take both fullback and running back snaps at camp. But maybe they're thinking about experimenting without having a fullback. And primarily training Ham in as a running back under the new system. So we'll see.
Or something like that. I'm trying to look up. I looked at the numbers on CJ Ham. Like, he touched the ball like 15 times, and 10 of them were for a touchdown or first down. No big deal.
No big deal.
Yeah, it's pretty good batting average. Circle back on the Danielle thing. Spielman takes care of his guys a year early. Like Luke touched on earlier, it helps lower the cost because you're paying the guy a little bit earlier. Players like that, they'll take a little bit less bird in hand approach, and then also you check a year off of inflation. But also, what about like just wanting to stay together and like the culture that Zimmer and Spielman have put together? I think it says something
for sure.
Yeah, Matthew Collar mentioned this that I think all of us kind of expect that if Hunter puts in a year that reflects the amount of talent that he's displayed over the past couple of years for the Vikings, if he puts in another year like that, even 8 sacks. Brandon Graham got paid, right, and he wasn't a sack producer either.
Olivier Vernon got stupid paid after like 9 sacks.
Because of his youth, because of his physical skills, and because he's got the potential to have another or a double-digit sack season, he probably gets more than $14.4 million in free agency. So part of his motivation might just be how much he loves the locker room with the Vikings, how much he knows that it works for him. I mean, he was a super raw pass rusher who was primarily asked to defend the run at LSU. And you put him in front of Andre Patterson, get Andre Patterson to coach him. He's probably not going to get that level of coaching.
He's still a
anywhere
project
else.
to a degree. Zimmer said so.
Yeah, so he's probably not going to get that level of coaching anywhere else. So that might be part of it. Obviously, having that defensive line room with him, that's got to be part of it. And it really does seem like, and maybe it's just because I follow the Vikings, I'm a Vikings fan or whatever, it really seems like people are taking less to play with the Vikings if they're currently Vikings. Now, obviously, Kirk Cousins got money. Sheldon Richardson got money. They weren't originally part of the team, so you can't say the locker room culture is affecting them in the same way. But
if you were drafted or were originally part of the Vikings from basically from being a rookie,
which is how you should run it.
You want to stay with your team.
It certainly seems like that. And again, it feels like something a fan would say without thinking about it too critically. But I do think that's probably the case.
That was a subtweet to me. That's probably
no. I mean, how many other teams, even like big market teams, kind of operate that way, right?
The old Packers did that. I don't know that the new Packers are able to do that.
Aren't Seattle's most of their own guys?
No, I just meant in terms of the ability to retain players significantly below market value if they're originally part of your team, which the Packers were able to do for a while.
But they became too insular, right? They weren't getting free agents or anything.
A little bit. I mean, they weren't seeking out free agents, but they got rid of the wrong guys. People thought it seems like people think that the front office won't take care of them. I mean, you saw what happened to Jordy. You saw what happened to Casey Hayward.
Casey Hayward was dumb.
Yeah. And
but
so
that,
on. So it seems like it's more difficult for them to retain the free agents that they want. Seattle, I don't know. There's not been a ton of cases.
I mean,
where,
Seattle, all those guys got top dollar for their position. So that's much more of like a mercenary relationship, it seeed like.
Yeah. So I don't know that there's a ton of other teams where you can say
Dallas and Tyron Smith.
where you can say that that teams are retaining value, or getting excess value by retaining their players.
And I made this case about Stephon Diggs this week. I think he should take it to the mat. Like, he should just play out his contract year and be like,
he's
hey,
going to get franchise tagged.
If you're offering me $13 million a year,
we're fine with that.
Like,
too,
I think we're okay with it. At this point, thoroughly expect Stephon Diggs to get franchise tagged, and it just makes sense.
Like, we're due for one.
I feel like
we can't keep re-signing every. It can't go this smooth.
And
right?
I just feel like we are going to be a lot more strapped cap wise in 2019, which is going to be very fun to see what happens. Who has the tough decisions,
especially when we keep Sheldon.
I know.
Keep the real purple people eaters together. Come on. Come on, baby. Sorry, Gary Larson.
That D-line does look very good.
Very tasty.
Very good. Starters, at least.
Well, I know we go back to the whole, we need a rotation, platoon this thing, where it's like, do we really want to take those 4 off the field? It's going to be tough.
I mean, the goal is, I think, to get to a level of depth where you can answer that question, right? And not... we should take them off the field for the sake of taking them off the field. I mean, the Vikings' defensive line has been very good for a very long period of time without that platoon.
Yeah.
And the Eagles' platoon is only so good because those backup players are also really good.
Yeah, they got Derek Barnett, the Sam Bradford pick, coming off the bench. Whatever.
So, I mean, platoons are probably superior to 4 good linemen if you've got the talent to do it. If you don't have the talent to do it, you shouldn't do it just to do it. I mean, obviously, rest your players to the amount that keeps them maximally effective, but sometimes that means playing 1,000 snaps for Everson Griffin.
Yeah, like Warren Sapp coming off the field for Chidi Huanatu.
Yeah.
Or whatever his name was. Yeah.
That is a name that you might have made up.
He was number 72. I don't remember the name. But so Diggs, like, he sees the Jarvis Landry contract. He sees the Sammy Watkins money we've been throwing around. And say the Vikings are offering him like $13 million a year, like T.Y. Hilton money. He's like, I'm going to bet on myself because either you tag me or I'm going to get paid somewhere else with the open market contract.
But you guys still say that he's going to make more than 14, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I have him at maybe 16.
I don't know that he's going to make like 17 or anything like that.
No, but I think 16 is where
that sounds about right.
Working against him, he's a guy who's never played 16 games, never had 1,000-yard seasons, but if he can stay healthy this year with Cousins, with DiFilippo, with Thielen across him, I think it's set up where he can have a bang thing year, and he's going to go make his paper.
Yeah.
But he's not leaving.
Hopefully not.
I'm fairly confident he's not leaving.
Well, I'm glad you're confident.
Dick seems like an LA guy, though.
He does, dude.
Him
He
and the
seems
Rams,
flashy, man.
come
he seems
on,
ready for
brother.
the bright lights, dude.
Yeah.
That helmet toss told us
God.
all we need to know.
I know.
Yeah, except
That
all,
helmet toss got him paid.
Yes, it
except
did.
all that money that got him paid more with the Rams, he'd lose in taxes, so it's okay.
It's true.
Yeah.
Stay in Minnesota.
Stupid California in your face. Well, it's not stupid. Hey, My Burger, because they are awesome. They're fantastic. And if you become a Zone Coverage subscriber, you get a gift card for a free burger. And it's like it's like when drug dealers give you free drugs to get you hooked. That's what My Burger is, right? Because they've been family owned, obsessed over. They'll love that one since 2004. They're made to order burgers,
Made up ad copy.
hand press perfection. Burgers that are made fresh just taste better. You don't want the frozen patty. You don't want the Kitchen Nightmares burger where they're reheating cooked ones by boiling them. It's boiled.
Jesus
No.
Christ.
I've been watching a lot of that show, or just clips on YouTube. And then they feature hand-dipped malts, locally baked gluten-free buns, salads, and sweet potato fries, plus beer.
Are all
Burger
the
and
buns
beer.
gluten-free, or is that just like an option that they have?
I think it's an option.
Option.
Okay.
Because it's all about options, Arif.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Also, you have the option to go to one of their 5 Twin Cities locations: Stadium Village, Richfield, Calhoun, up in the Skyway downtown, and also St. Paul, Mac Groveland. You can order online as well, myburgerusa.com. And like we mentioned, Zone Cover subscriber, get the free burger, become hooked. That's how we do. We take care of you. I'm going to throw out there, who are the 3 best and worst teams in each conference?
3 best and worst teams in each conference.
Best
Philly,
Philly, Vikings, and
Probably
Rams.
not the Rams.
Saints.
I just,
Rams
I
or
would say the
Saints,
Saints. Okay.
Falcons.
I feel like the Rams could be
Saints.
the
They're
best
kinda
or the
all-
worst team.
Yeah, they're kind of all in the mix.
I feel like the Rams feel unsustainable.
They
to me.
They do, don't they?
The problem.
I
of
was
course,
excited
is
right away,
that-
but-
Jared Goff.
Yeah, the problem is Jared Goff. I think you take a look at the rest of the roster, and you're like, wow, the Rams
Yeah,
are stacked,
dude,
right?
yeah.
They should do really well, and they should. But, I mean, you take a look at, the Saints, they don't have significant downgrades at each of those positions, maybe obviously along the defensive line, but they still have Cam Jordan. But then you compare, like, Drew Brees to Jared Goff. Like,
No
I don't think it's
question.
particularly close. So,
And Sean Payton's right there, too.
Yeah.
If you want to talk coaches.
So I would say, the Eagles, the Saints, the Vikings in some order. As for the AFC, it's like the Patriots and then
Patriots,
they're
Steelers.
kind of floating around. Maybe the Steelers.
Who's the dark horse in each conference?
I think the Texans are a dark horse for me in the AFC.
Yeah,
am I going to get the same Watson? If I get the same Watson, am I getting J.J. Watt back?
I might be alone in this as far as dark horse in NFC.
And they got
but I
Honey
think
Badger.
The 49ers are potentially a dark horse.
Because
I think a lot of people are talking
Oh,
about
yeah,
them, though,
yeah,
aren't
I
they?
think the 49ers
Aren't they like a sexy dark horse team?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the worst teams.
In the AFC, the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
Yeah.
So bad.
I think the Raiders have a chance to be down there, too.
God, I just did not like any of the Raiders' moves that much this year.
Yeah,
Nothing excited me.
it's
disappointing.
It feels more like a 6-win team than
Like,
a 2-win
if
team.
Carr can't bounce back, then it's kaput.
No,
Yeah.
they'll win 6 or 7 games, but I just don't think they'll do much.
Yeah.
What's
so,
that?
yeah,
So
the
Bills, Raiders,
The Bills don't have an offense. I don't know
or
that.
defense for that matter.
Right.
What are the Titans
if
going
you
to do
take,
this
if
year?
you take a look at that
think the
entire
Titans will be good.
Bills
I think they're
starting
dark horse.
offense, I don't know that you find a player that should start on any of the other 15 AFC teams. Like, not anywhere except for maybe Deion Dawkins. And LaShawn McCoy is still there, right? So he doesn't
Yeah,
count.
well, for a while. They should sell him.
yeah.
And Trey
They
White.
really should just sell
Trey White.
everything.
I said offense.
Oh, sorry. I missed that.
Although maybe he should.
All right, so
yeah.
the Bills starting offense, according to ourlads.com.
so bad.
So O-line left to right, Deion Dawkins at left tackle. All right. Something called John Miller.
Oh, he's bad.
That's
Louisville,
made up, dude.
I think.
Louisville?
I think so.
At center, Russell Bodine.
Terrible. Just awful.
At right guard, Vladimir.
No
Dukas.
way.
Yep.
Oh my
Man,
god!
the face
what
of
I didn't know
you were still in the league.
franchise.
Yeah.
Right tackle, Jordan Mills.
Terrible.
Tight end, Charles Clay, who was on the NFL Top 100 like 2 years ago. For some reason.
Okay, average,
Wait,
whatever.
Charles Clay?
Yeah.
The one on the Bachelorette?
No, that's Clay Harbor.
That's Clay Harbor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Charles Clay.
Charles Clay, he can
Yeah.
be aight.
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah.
When he had Tyrod, he was aight.
Yeah, he's all right.
Wide receivers, Zay Jones, Calvin Benjamin.
Yeah, nope.
Okay.
rough. Quarterback.
Who's their third?
A.J. McCarron, the starting quarterback of the Bills.
Yeah.
No, like all their quarterback options are a wide receiver 3, either Brandon Riley, who I think was CFL, and also Andre Holmes.
Brandon Riley and Andre Holmes. This
So
is
no one's
welcome to
pushing
Buffalo.
those two as starters either.
Yeah.
Welcome to Buffalo.
Yeah, quarterbacks, all 3 are bad. Josh Allen, A.J. McCarron, Nathan Peterman. No big deal.
So
Peterman
horrible.
might be the best quarterback on
Yeah,
the
actually, and wasn't it their coach or one of their
where's-
coordinators who came out this week? It's like Peterman's actually looked really.
That's
good
been their
this
off-season
Yeah.
buzz. They're trying to gin up trade value like the Jets and Teddy.
Where's JP Lossman?
Cannot-
Is Lossman in the mix?
He's working at the Buffalo Applebee's that Marshawn used to always
With
go to.
Lee Evans.
I think a dark horse for the AFC could be the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, yeah. I love
I think everybody's just hoping they can stay healthy for 1 year because they're loaded.
Their
every year.
offensive line looks really good.
Chargers will start at 1-6 and then still be in playoff contention week 17.
Yeah.
Per
Dan
usual.
Feeney, Forrest Lamp coming back. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, they have a lot of.
who's the worst team in the NFC?
Could be the Bucks.
Seattle, Arizona,
Bucks, yes, I'd say the Bucks.
I was thinking Arizona.
Bears, Cowboys, Philly, Giants.
I feel
Redskins?
like wouldn't Bradford make them still somewhat competitive for a little
Yeah,
bit?
for 2 games.
And then Josh Rosen would come in, and he would be exciting.
I
Right?
think it's
that's a
going to be
good
the
point.
Cardinals.
Arizona does seem like a bit of a.
Is that division the most up in the air?
Colts would be
The NFC West?
Colts would be the third.
No, I
bad
think
team.
it's the Rams
the
and
team
the
that
Niners.
Well, yeah. So the top is probably the Rams, but we don't know if the Niners are going to be in wild card contention or if Garoppolo only had 6 good games or like what's going to happen there.
Okay.
Right? Because we saw how bad the Niners were without Garoppolo.
But there's a chance they're competing with them for the division.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
don't talk about CJ Beathard like that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Have some respect for a Hawkeye.
Iowa legend.
Yeah, the Colts are going to be down there.
They're going to be bad.
And with Luck up in the air, like I looked it up. So their first 6 seasons, Luck versus Bradford. Luck has missed 26 games due to injury. Bradford missed 27.
Can they still play?
Wow.
Because I heard that if a player misses that much time, then they forget how to football.
Yeah.
possible.
That's what I've heard. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
That's what happened to Ricky Williams. He came back to back 1,000-yard seasons
Yeah.
after
Ricky
his
Williams,
break.
man.
Ricky running Williams.
Ricky Williams with Sperano and Brown run the Wildcat down there.
Didn't he get like 1,800
decent.
yards?
Is Ricky Williams
Like,
underrated?
Goodness.
Or is
Maybe?
he appropriately
I
rated?
don't know. It's difficult.
Brah,
right?
you
'Cause
high,
he just,
brah.
Because he just like missed some years and only came back because he had a debt to repay.
If
He's
Rick-
like, oh yeah, I owe you like millions and millions.
if
of dollars.
Ricky had come in as like a 5th-round pick, he would be much more valuable. But because he came in the way he did, with the Ditka trade and Master P was his agent, it's like, all right.
Yeah, everything about Ricky Williams is poorly handled from like his own end, like getting that agent from the way the Saints went out to acquire him, from the way the Saints handled him. They didn't like realize that he had like anxiety problems, and so they did nothing to accommodate him, and everying was just so poorly handled.
Hey, Ricky, just wear your visor.
Yeah,
Wear your helmet visor.
during interviews, man. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Ricky Williams could have been great.
Yeah, could have been.
Ricky's 2002 season, his first year in Miami, he finally got rid of the Saints. 1,853 yards rushing, 4.8 yards per attempt.
Some good touchdown numbers too.
Wasn't he Madden covered?
Was he?
2000.
I don't think it was. Oh, 16 touchdowns that year
Yeah.
too. No big deal.
Right? Goodness.
No wonder Sperano keeps getting jobs.
And he's like, I'd rather be a therapeutic unlicensed masseuse or something. More power to you, man.
2002 league MVP Rich Gannon.
Woo!
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. That year was not Tony Sperano. The head coach was Dave Wanstead. But
Wanstead.
who was
mustache
calling the
fame.
plays that year? One Norv Turner. So see, that's where he got it from. No big deal. All right, so we're gonna play wrap out hour one. We're gonna play a little good, bad, or meh. So I'm just gonna throw out a NFL storyline scenario, and you tell me if it's good for the league, bad, or meh, whatever. Or it can be the league point of view, it can be the player point of view.
Okay.
Whatever. Easy off-season content. First up, Julio Jones and OBJ holding out.
Good for the players.
Good for the players.
Yeah.
Just good.
Good in general. Yeah,
my reaction to that story is good.
It's good. Yep.
No, like OBJ deserves to reset the wide receiver market, absolutely. And I mean Julio. I mean,
I'm
he's that
still a little
often.
iffy on Julio. The holdout and stuff.
What? Because of his touchdown value or what?
Yeah, I'll say that.
No, this is the year that they're going to target him in the red zone.
Right.
Be that every year. Like, I don't know, like fans are kind of weird about this. Like NFL is not for long. Get your money while you can. But if a player's already signed an extension for good money, and we're not talking about Adam Thielen's like train robbery of extension, but this came up with like Cam Chancellor, where he was getting he was getting top end safety money. Julio's still getting top end wide receiver money, but it's not like top. Like some fans have issue with that. I don't know why.
Don't know why that.
Well, I mean,
Your agent should negotiate better.
I think part of it is that when you're a fan of a team, you very often think about like what the team should do or what's best for the team. You put yourself kind of in the shoes of management. Whereas, like when you go to work, you're a worker, right?
Yeah,
and you have no sympathy.
And I guess
people tend to side with ownership and stuff, and it makes no sense.
It's kind of
even on social issues too.
No, I think it makes a ton of sense if you consider like how they approach it, right? Because their identity is usually caught up in the team. It's not.
It's
caught
the
up in
laundry,
players.
right? That's the Jerry Seinfeld line. You root for laundry, not the players.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Whereas they just
so
want to see the player on the field, and the players voluntarily coming off the field. They're like they have issue.
Yeah, so like I get it. I totally disagree with fans on it, and I think it's inconsistent. I think that you're right, Yinka. But I understand like why it happens. So yeah,
I think Aaron Rodgers should hold out.
yeah, absolutely.
What if he joins racing with Danica? Like just like I'm getting in a car,
together.
baby.
They're a thing.
Are they? I don't know.
Wait, their PR relationship is still together?
He said PR.
I don't know. I don't know this thing. I know they dated at one point, and I was wondering if he Mario Karted.
Oh, you just watch it. In
F1.
6 months, there will be a very high-profile breakup that will be covered by TMZ and the National Enquirer, just for buzz. It's okay. Or they might love each other. I don't know. There's a spectrum.
It's Andy as Cupid.
Low on his probability chart.
Next up, good, bad, or meh, the future of Jameis Winston.
Meh.
Let's say meh.
Meh.
Is he still in Tampa in 2 years?
I don't think so. I really don't.
I think he is because I think he's gonna
Turn it around.
No, I don't think he's gonna turn around.
No, I'm saying in terms of like.
So I
I
think
turn
of,
it around.
I think of him as an Eli Manning, which is a very common. I'm not breaking new ground here. A very common comp, but I don't think his highs are as high. I also don't think his lows are as low because he'll always be able to produce first downs. He's been very good at that since entering the league.
Oh, he's a poor man's Eli. Damn it.
But his average is a little bit lower, and I think given sort of, how we saw the quarterback market get set with Kirk Cousins and how traditionally, average or above average quarterbacks or even below average quarterbacks are treated in the market, I think they'll be scared to let go of him. And we saw that with Andy Dalton and the Bengals, which is kind of the case that everyone talks about.
Yeah.
But,
It's okay, but once they go 3-13, they can draft Drew Lock.
that would also be a disaster.
Yeah.
I actually don't know much about it.
I know we've talked about the
He could be okay,
the
but-
Ryan Fitzpatrick. I know we talked about the Ryan Fitzpatrick curse, but is Jameis's game a little bit like Fitztragic's?
Yeah, actually,
A little bit careless, a little bit reckless, but
yeah, I think Fitztragic is a little bit more likely to chuck it.
Yeah.
But I mean, with Mike Evans there,
Is Jameis destined to be a Jet? Like what would be? Where would he go if he can't go
makes
to
a ton of sense.
no Tampa?
Nah, he can't be a Jet because they've got
Cincinnati.
two QBs of the future on that roster.
Cincinnati makes a lot of sense too.
He could be a Dolphin.
like
as
the
well, too.
Bucks.
Yeah, he
that
just
makes
drives
sense.
down there.
No,
Yeah.
the Bucks should just straight up trade for Teddy,
The Jaguars should.
Miami.
but he
The
couldn't wear number
Dolphins
5.
should. And
Yeah,
every
Miami.
team in
Miami.
Florida.
And go back home to Miami. Yeah, I just feel like they're not going to let go of him.
Yep.
I agree.
Next up, good, bad, or meh. Pat Shurmur unshunning Tiki Barber, although the Giants have other issues to worry about this week.
I don't even know what happened.
What happened?
All right, so apparently Tiki Barber has been like persona non grata because once he got in the media, started ripping at Eli Manning. That was before.
But I thought that was a Coughlin thing that persisted past McAdoo.
Yeah, like that was right before like Eli started winning the Super Bowls, and Tiki, of course, had his failed like media career and sort of not beloved in the Meadowlands. But Pat Shurmur's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the appropriate. It's Tiki Barber.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Yeah.
It's his pardon.
Like, and the thing is, like, I think Barber should have been treated better by the Giants, but like. I don't feel very strongly about it anyway.
He's talking about Eli. The only thing I remember from Tiki is that Rondé was the better brother, and then also like he changed his ball holding strategy.
Tiki had a better individual season than Rondé, probably. I mean, obviously, winning the Super Bowl is pretty great.
Yeah, Rondé's the only one with the ring.
It's okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I think Barber had 1 year or 2 years where he was a better running back than Barber was a cornerback. And Barber might go into the Hall of Fame as a discount Antoine Winfield. I said it.
Ooh.
I got the numbers too, man. I talk about this shit all the time.
Ooh. This needs to be a shirt. This is like an Arif campaign.
I know.
Discount Antoine Winfield. I know we've talked about this before, but like, so twins, like the McCourty brothers, the Barber brothers, they've had to have switched at some point. Come on.
Oh, for sure.
Are the Pouncey brothers the only ones that have like played the same position? Why aren't there more twins playing the same position?
I mean, McCourty brothers, DBs.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess they both started out playing cornerback.
Did they both go to Rutgers?
Yes, right?
Don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, if they're on the Patriots, it must have been to Rutgers at some point.
Yeah, right.
Or at least got recruited by Rutgers. I mean,
the Pounceys don't even really play the same position, but they went to the. Went to the same school.
And one's good, one's not.
Which one?
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
That's the thing.
Nobody knows.
Next up, good, better, meh. Des Bryant still is a free agent.
Good. Definitely good.
That's hilarious.
Definitely
I think it's
good.
hilarious, dude.
Is
I'm
he
just shocked at
He's
this
like
point.
the fifth best free agent available too. Like he's not even the best. Like there's Jonathan Hankins. There's 3 safeties.
Yeah. Is Trey Boston still a free agent?
Hankins?
Oh, I think Boston got signed.
Yeah. But like Vaccaro's, Eric Reed is still out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trey Boston's not signed.
Oh, there you go. Is Dez on a roster week 4?
Yes.
Yes.
Give me the team.
Bills. We just talked about how awful their roster is.
Yeah, Bills need it.
But do you think Dez would be like hard pass?
Wasn't there a Washington rumor?
I could see him on the Eagles.
Washington would make sense historically.
Yeah.
But they don't really need it.
No,
I guess I could see the Eagles.
Maybe for the Eagles.
Yeah, no, just wait for the biannual Alshon soft tissue injury. Then
Right,
Dez
yeah,
would be like, all right,
exactly.
I get it. I'm in. League minimum. Don't care. Yeah. Next up, good, better, meh. Steve Spurrier wanting Tebow to join his Orlando AAF football team.
He's doing well in AA.
I'd be in. I don't care. Play both. Be Dion.
He is doing well in AA.
I mean, like he's 4 years older than most players there, but if not,
Well, I mean, but he also missed more than 4
it's
years.
true.
of
No,
baseball.
he's doing all
for
right.
him to
He's
be
doing
able
all
to.
right.
Yeah.
No, it's an accomplishment. I'm not.
Does he have an at bat in the majors this year?
He's better at baseball than he was at quarterback. I'm not going to say at football because, again, if he had been an H-back, but might be a better baseball player than a football player. So,
They didn't have any
oh
offensive.
man, Spurrier, God, that would be fun.
I know it.
They didn't have any offensive talent around him in Denver. They had Lance Ball and Willis McGahee.
And Eric Decker, Demarius Thomas.
What about him? where they at now? Next up is NFL tells Chiefs offensive lineman Dr. Laurent Duvernay Tardif that he can't put MD on his jersey.
I mean, I think it's bad, but again, I don't feel that strongly about it. Like, the NFL
I'm meh.
is kind of dumb, and they missed a good opportunity, and whatever. But it's like, okay.
Are they worried about setting precedent for all the future doctors and lawyers that come into the NFL?
Right. Man, if
Like John Urschel coming back. What's up?
John Urschel, PhD,
Dr. Love,
LDT, MD, Alan Page, JD.
Well, it seems incongruous to me because like they're letting everyone put junior, senior, or 3 or V
4,
or whatever.
Yeah.
RG3 opened those floodgates, by the way. But and it's like,
They
why
got
not?
the umlauts on the Behringer.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
He should just do it, and like the AMA pays his fine every week.
The AMA. Yeah, we need advertising. We need people to know that there are doctors.
Just tack it on to his malpractice insurance. Like, pay out that claim. Fine. 3 more, then we'll hop in hour 2. Good, bad, or meh that Sam Bradford is actively mentoring Josh Rosen.
Good.
It's good.
He turned out to be a pretty good quarterback.
Do you think most...
and he's also, I think, navigating the transition from spread to an NFL
Oh, that's a good
playbook.
point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Do you think most veteran starters to first round rookies is more like this, or do you think it's more like Favre Rodgers?
I think it's more like Favre Rodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe in the past we saw it more like this. There's like a very good like quote from Roethlisberger about how much he thanked Maddox.
Yeah.
But
it was just a dick to Mason
so
Rudolph.
Funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, not for long, right? Like I refuse to believe that Brady in any way helped Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
definitely
then,
not.
Engineered.
Maybe like
right?
grooming tips.
Oh, definitely not.
Hey, Jimmy, it's 2 eyebrows. Come on, man.
I think Brady could mentor anyone in the league on grooming tips except for Jimmy Garoppolo.
I can almost guarantee Brady gave a passive aggressive, like, Jimmy, you're kind of getting fat. I can almost guarantee it.
Man, these pants make you look a little fat, Jimmy. I'm going to go to a trainer, get a larger size, get the medium. Do you think Brady is like a weird sort of like Tom Cruise in personal life, or do you think he's just a bro behind closed doors?
No, I think he's weird.
He's weird. He's definitely weird.
Because I think it was either Aaron Shea, who was in the league, he was teammates with him in Michigan, said that Brady just like crushed beers. Like
I could see that.
I could see
like
that
backwards
at
hat,
Michigan.
like back in the day.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Over at we're gonna go party at the baseball house.
But I think, like,
13th and 12th.
I think like now he's weird. Half of his smiles, like just his smiles, look weird.
Like he looks like his wax
He's a
figure.
clone, dude. Yeah, he's a
you
robot.
can't hang out with like
the
a
only
quack
explanation.
doctor for that long and follow their fake diet for that long without ending up being a weird person.
No nightshade vegetables except in the morning.
Right. Only drink water if it comes out of a blue bottle that's been in the sun for 24 hours, even though that's impossible.
Last two, both uniform related. Stephon Diggs wants the Vikings to wear purple on purple more often.
I don't
actually love the purple on purple. As much as
I don't mind the purple on purple. I don't know why people hate it so much.
I think it looks like pajamas.
Can you imagine if he's the only one? He's like, I'm doing it.
He's the only.
So I wonder how much that fine is.
Can you even play? Well, they just
But I
let you
mean-
play. You just pay a fine.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah, I
Everybody's all white. You're in all purple. I would go nuts. Dude.
Find loopholes like when James Jones
Let's
was wearing
get a
that hoodie for a
GoFundMe.
couple weeks.
I think there needs to be just a little bit more detail on the uniforms for you to pull off a purple on purple really well.
I am a little sad that they're. I don't know. I like the color rush jerseys.
Yellow on yellow. Let's do it.
And lastly, Rudy wants more white on white.
Of course
Jerseys.
he does.
Right.
It matches his hamburger helper gloves.
That's what it matches.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Nah.
What is it with people liking monochrome stuff?
I don't know. Sometimes it can look really clean.
Because like I have a bunch of buddies that like to wear the shirt and the tie that are the same color. It's like
I don't like doing that.
you look like Regis Philbin.
I think there are occasions where that can work out, but I think
Like what? P Diddy's birthday?
no. Yeah, exactly. Actually.
well,
like
funerals.
if you're an entertainer or if you're at a funeral,
That works.
But I think if you're like going to an event or a function,
Yeah, if you're playing a
that's-
piano, you're good.
yeah, right, yeah.
No, like I get black on black. Like the Cavs are going to go get swept by the Warriors, or white on white, maybe at like a wedding. But like teal on teal. I mean, this ain't Duval.
I mean, I'll have the color that matches. So if I'm wearing like a light blue shirt, I'll wear like a
Dark blue tie.
yeah, darker blue tie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
like
different.
that's
Purple,
fine.
purple
yeah, not
works.
yeah, not
Yeah.
straight same color.
Straight
yeah.
monochrome.
Yeah.
That's a little much. It's a little weird.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it can look really clean, especially if it's white.
Yeah.
I'm still really annoyed that the Bengals didn't have the white helmet.
Yeah.
The white uniforms. Like, God, that would have been good.
Yeah, but they're the Bengals. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Find any way to screw it up.
all right. Oh, last one. I think we talked about this before, but how many times in the past calendar year have you wore a tie?
A lot. I mean, I don't wear it as much anymore.
Double digits.
I don't wear it much anymore.
12.
But when it's colder outside, I'm almost in
I'm
town.
probably in Luke's.
Yeah.
I used to wear it like every weekend in high school.
I used to wear it every day in high school, which is
What?
yeah,
Bi-
St.
Bible
Thomas
salesman.
uniform.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was it clip on?
Private kid.
No,
Yeah.
private kid.
Yeah, it's just a private.
He's a private kid.
Private individual. I'm like, I'm in a tie. Don't talk. To
Don't
me.
talk to me.
It's really weird at the end of the day when you take down the clip-on tie. It's like, I just had a rough one. Then you just clip it on like the bottom down below. It's tough.
Yeah, but now probably about once a month.
No, we had a full Windsor.
Full Windsor jacket.
Yeah.
Did your ties end up being like short because of it?
Yeah, I usually had like the weird belly. Yeah,
Gross.
it's not good.
So there's that. Listen to hour 2. We're opening up the phone lines, talking about things and stuff. Get the show on iTunes, Stitcher, iRadios.coverage.com/machine. But for Luke and Reef and Yinka and Tom, I'm Andy saying, anyway, sorry, bro. That was our dude.